Hi there. I'd just like to introduce myself first of all. My name is Leanna Hill. I work for a company called ERG, Executive Resource Group, and we specialise in recruiting for the IT industry. More specifically, I recruit for developers all the way up to CTO level. And I'm really keen to introduce you to Mark Lloyd, actually, who we've known as a company for quite some time now, I think, haven't we?
Right. Quite a while, some years.
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, quite a while for some years.
Yeah. He lives in the Narborough area. I'm really keen to introduce you. He's worked for IRES now for over 5 years, I believe. And we know them obviously to be an employer of very high caliber of individuals. And he's looking for his next move. Or potential opportunities. So keen just to have a little chat, find out a little bit more, and perhaps do a bit of an intro. So first off then, what are your favourite technologies and why?
My favourite technologies at the moment are, as I work in integrations with integrating our flagship products at IRES with third-party applications like data feeds or document scanners. So the technologies around .NET Core for Microsoft's .NET Core, and .NET Core 2 offers us quite a lot of possibilities. But the new upcoming .NET Core 2.1 is more closely coupled with SignalR, which offers like Node.js type functionality. So I'm really excited about that. The fact that it's stateful and it's a lot quicker than HTTP based APIs like REST APIs, which my clients causes them a bit of a problem as it's not stateless, and certainly having like transactions across multiple posts can be difficult to make sense of when you're running a line of business application.
You've had quite a diverse career, haven't you, with all the technologies you've been involved with and used?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, mostly at the moment I'm integrating third-party applications together inside IRES, but yeah, I mean, it means that you need close contact with the clients, so you need to talk to the clients all of the time, especially at a technology level. But they particularly like the way that I work, because it's not all about the technology; it's how we implement that technology and how we talk to the clients and get them on board with the way that these technologies will help their businesses.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And so, tell me then, speaking of these clients you've been working with, what's your favourite? What's your sort of most exciting project you've worked on, or one you're most proud of, and what was your involvement with it?
Certainly, they're all memorable. Probably the one that I would pick out and say that was most personally rewarding was at IRES every year we have a hackathon, which is a 24-hour hack where we actually come up with some ideas and implement them. It's very developer-centric, but the business is always very willing to put some effort and guidance into it. But one problem we've always had in our hosted applications is being able to produce meaningful reports that our users actually have a familiarity with, and everybody's familiar with Microsoft Word. So we actually wrote a proof of concept for putting in Word reports into the software. So when you produce a fact find for a client, or you're producing welcome letters, our clients are much more familiar with Word than any other technology like Crystal Reports. So we actually produced that, and that was judged, and it came second in the UK.
Oh wow! Okay.
So unfortunately, GDPR is obviously big news for all industries that deal with client data at the moment. So GDPR solution won, but globally we came second as well. So that was quite rewarding.
Oh wow! Okay. And so and what role were you playing within it? What was your involvement? How are you?
I was the technology lead, and I got some people from another team, and they came in and implemented their knowledge of Word reporting and how the Open DocX standard is actually a file made up of 3 different bits with templates and the data that you want. And I mean, I'm an integration specialist. So I know our products internally at IRES. So pretty much championed that we develop a microservice which any of our products could actually integrate with, and produce Word reports under our clients' direction. Really, I mean, they have their own look and feel, their own fonts, their own templates, with their personal logos on, and they could upload all of that one time into this service. Then they could use Xplan or Compay or any of our products, communicate to this service, and produce their own documentation. It's purely under their control.
Okay, so you're making fairly custom projects then for...
Yeah, but it puts the documentation under their control. But obviously with new modern technologies, it's everything that we're doing at the moment is around microservice. So you write it once and use it many, many times.
Okay, perfect. So getting back to some important details as well then, what sort of role are you looking for then if you were to make the move from Iris?
Obviously, I've been in a leadership role at IRES as a development team leader for a while now. So I'm looking for a leadership role in a development team that is a mixture of management and hands-on. A team that perhaps has an existing product.
As to how much management or hands-on? Or?
Not really, no. I mean, obviously, you could argue that there'll be a lot more management early on while the team beds in or learns or is prepared to implement the experiences that we had before. So I'm not saying that I would prefer 90% of one or only 10% of the other, but I still enjoy the technology. I still like to champion new technology practices.
And have you been kept fairly hands-on? You've been hands-on in some of the projects that you've been overseeing?
Yeah, very, very much so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have delivery leads and so on that are responsible for delivery and delivering products, to time. But yeah, I mean, as far as leadership's concerned, yeah, I mean, early on I might lead a lot more, and then once we get to the tail end of the project, as far as testing is concerned or showcasing that kind of thing, I've got my hands on, I've got my laptop, I've got all the technology. I know exactly how it all fits together.
Yep. Okay, perfect. And is there anything else with regards to the role that you'd like to add on that we haven't covered? Or
I've worked obviously 20 years in software development in financial services, so I'm looking for a team really and a business that's willing to learn, perhaps has got some existing ideas and just wants to freshen up a team that perhaps has got an existing product set and is perhaps ready to move to the next level. Okay.
And you mentioned obviously you've got the background in financial services. Is that somewhere that you would quite like to sort of stay within, or?
Ideally, yes, simply because it is an area of the service industry which I'm quite passionate about, and I've got a lot of knowledge of that. It's always been a passion for me. I took some financial advisor exams. I was actually a qualified mortgage salesman at one point.
Oh, wow.
I learned all about regulation and the mortgage market and all the regulation around treating customers fairly. So I was aware of all that, and I'm very aware of it when I'm leading product development here at IRES.
Okay, perfect. And is there anything about the company that you take the next move for that is particularly important to you? What sort of company do you like?
Yeah, the business I'm ideally looking for is, as I said, a business that is in financial services, maybe delivery of advice, develops perhaps customer relationship applications, or certainly financial markets. That kind of business, which I've always got experience banking.
Yeah.
But preferably a business which is prepared to embrace modern development patterns. I practice myself within my teams, continuous integration, continuous delivery. It's very agile, Scrum-like. So yeah, when we reach the end of a significant sprint or the end of the project, let's talk about what went well. So it's all about the charter of continuous improvement as well. So you could probably argue that if an agile coach came in and actually observed that any of my teams working, that they'd go, well, this isn't Scrum anymore. No, well, We learn, it's the Toyota way of doing things. You always look back and say, what went well? Let's make sure that it carries on going well. But what didn't go so well? How could we improve that? What did we learn for that? You can create objectives for your team when you go through your next development cycle to not make those mistakes again.
Yeah, no, totally see that. All righty then, Mark. Is there anything else you'd like to add at all, or?
No, not really. I think we've largely covered
quite a large ground there for a very short amount of time. Well, thank you very much for your time. I'll obviously get in touch and I'll give you some feedback and let you know how we go. Okay.
Thank you.
Have a lovely evening. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.